The Olympics are in 2 weeks, and Patrick and I are giving our full Olympic preview, what we think the best lineups for Team USA are, the differences between NBA and Olympic rules, all of the different countries in it, all the groups, everything like that. Let's get into foul trouble.
James, for once, we are cheering for the same team, I think.
I feel like we've cheered for the same team throughout the year.
Here and there.
You know, I mean, I'm more team fluid than you are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. If everyone's, especially in the Eastern Conference playoffs, I feel like there was some overlap there, but it's like there's no discussion. We are a fully supportive Team USA podcast.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, there's other countries that I'm rooting for until they play Team USA, though, for sure. So where do we want to begin? I think a fun place to begin maybe would be, I guess, do we want to begin more about the teams in the Olympics, or do we want to begin more about the differences between Olympic basketball and, NBA basketball?
Yeah, maybe we touch on that and just kind of make sure our audience knows how this tournament works. It's the same thing every year, but just for those of you that might not be the biggest.
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like it's been tough. A lot of the last few Olympics are Tokyo, Beijing, COVID Olympics. So it's a lot. And then Brazil in 2016, which that one time zone is pretty closer.
Yeah, not too bad.
But a lot of the last, couple Olympics have been in these time zones where the basketball games are on at 2 a.m. in Los Angeles. And you're just not watching that live.
Hey, if you're not watching that live, you don't know ball.
I don't know ball.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, this year being in Paris, the games are on at a somewhat reasonable time for the United States, so it's pretty nice. The way the format of the Olympics works, there's 3 groups of 4. The top 2 teams from each group are going to advance into an 8-team tournament, and
as well as 2 of the third place teams in the groups based on points, which is wins or ties. I guess tying is a thing in this. Point differential is the second tiebreaker, and then just number of points scored over all your games. So that will end up with 2, 4, 6, 8 teams into a knockout round.
Yep. And so that's the format of the tournament. There's actually some rule changes between FIBA and the NBA that I think are just worth remembering. As when we talk about these rosters and you're listening, you're going to be like, how the fuck will Team USA possibly ever lose a game? But really, it's because of some of these big differences. So one, instead of it 12-minute quarters, that's 10-minute quarters. That sounds really similar until you realize that that's basically a whole quarter less over the course of the game. So when you take the sample size and make it smaller, the chance of random events affecting the game are much bigger. You get less fouls per game. You only get 5. So Embiid, watch out. He fouled out in 10 minutes, 12 minutes?
Yeah, I think 12 minutes in the first exhibition.
Technical fouls count as personal fouls.
Oh, wow.
And award possession to the offended team. Possession arrow, I mean, that's not a huge difference. Penalty shots are after 4 fouls, not 5. But shorter quarters, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Goaltending is a little bit different. You can, after the ball hits the rim, you can swat it off. I don't know in practice how much that actually seems to happen. It's one of those things that I feel like is always talked about, but when you actually watch these scrimmages, you don't really see it happen that much.
I feel like it happens less, especially with the very NBA-laden teams like we've seen Team USA play against, Canada and Australia. These guys, all the bigs for the most part on these rosters, are not used to being able to offensive goaltend, so they just
don't do it.
Don't gamble. It's just not built in.
Yeah, and then the last big difference is zone defense is legal, so you can stand under the rim. And so the reason I'm highlighting all those is because all of these rules do even out the playing field and not minimize talent, but what they do is when you make it so bigs can camp in the lane, obviously that's a huge advantage for the defense. That evens out the offense defense when the skill level is different. Dumbing down the sample size, that also evens things out. When you make penalties after 4, all of these things. Oh, and the biggest thing, smaller court. And basketball, the smaller the court is, the more spacing gets mucked up, the harder it is for even the best players in the world to get shots off when there's less space. The defenders can play better help defense because they don't have to go as far out on the closeouts. All of these make it so that the games are a little bit more even. And that's why, even though Team USA has by far the best roster by a mile, there's always a chance they could lose.
Also, it's once you get to the knockout rounds, there's it's like the NCAA tournament where if you are having a bad 3-point shooting game and you happen to have high turnovers, which like as much as we love our Team USA superstars, a lot of them, like, I think this will be a pretty high turnover.
I didn't get to watch our Australia game, which we did not win by a lot, but we had a disturbing amount of turnovers in that first game against Canada.
Yeah, well, and in the Australia game, we were way ahead. And then by the fourth, they had cut it to 6 just because it's like there is, to what you're saying, I think it's a really great to point out. There's just going to be a lot of variance in these games, even from quarter to quarter.
Yeah, so let's go through the groups. And let's start with Team USA's group, which is Group B. And Team USA, I think, got a really favorable draw.
C.
Group C. I have this as Group B. Okay, all right. Okay, B or C, whatever the letter is. We're in a group with Puerto Rico, South Sudan, Serbia, and us.
Yeah, so this is pretty much a dream
draw
for us.
Yeah, so Serbia is probably one of the top 4 teams, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because of Nikola Jokic. Obviously, they have the best player in the world. They also have Bogdan Bogdanovic, so a great shooter to play off of him. Another NBA guy, Filip Petrusev. Big guy. So Serbia, I mean, they don't have a lot of guard talent at this point in time. Outside of Bogdanovic, at like an NBA level.
I guess Milos Teodosic, who had a cup of coffee with the Clippers, I guess he's not in this tournament, which he's been like a very big stalwart for this like Serbian national team.
So I mean, Team USA, Puerto Rico, they have like Jose Alvarado. They don't really have much else. South Sudan doesn't have an NBA player. There was like reporting that Bol Bol was on the team, but according to their website, he is not. It's really funny, like, to find the rosters for all these teams. Like, some of them are listed on like these official government websites, and some of them are just on proballers.com, and some of them are just on all these different random websites. But yeah, I mean, Puerto Rico, South Sudan are 2 teams that I would be shocked if they even had a chance. What's going to happen with this group is Team USA is going to go undefeated, or Serbia is going to go undefeated, and their one loss will be to each other. Team USA scrimmages Serbia tonight, Wednesday night, so we'll see what that looks like. I just think even with Jokic, it's going to be hard to overcome LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Bam Adebayo, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Devin Booker.
Yeah, exactly. And like something to point out is like we've had the Dream Team in the past, the Redeem Team, Dream Team 2, but like pretty much all of those versions of Team USA, there was a lot of the stars that were not like close to their peak. Like you think about Larry Bird, you think about in that original Dream Team, you think about Jason Kidd. And when you look at this roster, like, sure, LeBron James isn't peak LeBron James, but he's still like at the talent level of a peak star. Kevin Durant is still like, he was still like third team All NBA last year.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron James would be the best player on all but Serbia.
I think
in Greece.
4 teams.
Yeah.
And
I guess Canada if you want to put SGA. Yeah. So I mean LeBron. Yeah, I mean, so it's Team USA is obviously super overpowered like this year. And I guess, do we want to go through the groups before we do our deep dive into Team USA, or do we want to just do it now?
Let's do it now.
All right. So Team USA is super star laden, but I feel like the lineups have been a little weird. Obviously, Kevin Durant is kind of our kind of big glue guy because he's such an off the ball star compared to a lot of these other star players we have. And then I feel like Ant being so good has kind of complicated things because I feel like he was kind of meant to come off the bench, which I think they're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
But do you have like an ideal starting lineup for Team USA? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I mean, I just want to recap. So the first game, our starting lineup was Devin Booker, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, and Drew Holiday. And then in the second exhibition game, it was Tatum, LeBron, Embiid, Edwards, and Curry. And so like, right off the bat, I feel like this is an entertainment product as well. And I think Team USA promised us a LeBron James, Steph Curry, KD lineup. So like those 3 to me are locks. You can quibble whether like KD should be in the starting lineup or not, but like he's the like most scoring Team USA player in history.
I definitely think Durant almost has to start playing with Curry and James solely because like, and I think you could say this about Tatum as well, but, you know, obviously, I think to your point, we've been sold on this Durant thing. But I think of all of these star players, he's the most comfortable, like running from wing to corner, top of the key. Like he's the most comfortable playing off of a LeBron James, whereas a lot of these other guys either aren't as good a shooter as Durant or they want to kind of be a little bit more on ball.
Yeah. So I agree. I totally agree there. And then I think Joel Embiid, easy, like he should be our starting center.
See, here's my weird quibble though. I think the weird dynamic with this team is clearly Embiid is either the best or second best player on the team. I feel like Anthony Davis is a much better fit with the starting group. And I feel like Joel Embiid is a much better fit playing with like the Ant, Booker, Holiday kind of types. Because I feel like the starting lineup with like LeBron and these kind of bigger guys. Well, guys, we didn't talk about who the other two starters will be. You said Embiid, I said Davis. Who did you have as the fifth guy?
So that's kind of where
I'll get back to this Embiid point, but let's finish the starting lineup.
Right there is where I'm up for like major discussion. I think Ant in the first two games, obviously he's been like pretty effective as a scorer, and like he's Anthony Edwards. He's going to do that, especially against like in the first game against second units. And I think that's really like the perfect place for him. So my number one option that I like is just like going jumbo, putting AD at the 4 and just like, because I feel like what I said earlier, like the only way this team loses games is if our threes aren't falling and we're turning over the ball a lot. And you can kind of put away those worries if you just completely turn off the rim early in games.
So I really struggled with this because I feel like it's kind of one of those weird things where I would like to put a second guard. So like Holiday, who they started in the first game, or maybe Ant, who's more guard-like than wing-like. But I settled on Curry, Durant, LeBron, Tatum, and Davis.
Tatum and Davis. Okay.
Because I think Tatum can play off the ball kind of like Durant more than some of these other guys. I think Tatum kind of has shown that because he's so massive, him and Durant are captains of the taller than we say we are team. And he can rebound. And I like putting Tatum there because now you just have this gigantic lineup with Curry shooting. And because I'm starting Davis, I feel way better about running. And I want this team to just run.
So to that point, my second choice, if you don't want to go big, is Devin Booker. I think like Devin Booker is the best connector of any of these guys that we've talked about. Obviously, he's an amazing shooter. And I think he's more willing than a guy like Ant or a guy like Tatum to defer to the other stars and like get this team running in a way. And we've seen, especially in Team USA action from Book, that he's like really willing to like dig in on defense. And there aren't teams that can like pick on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you feel about the Davis versus Embiid thing? Because I think Embiid is the better overall player, but just from watching, and maybe it's just the early jitters, but it does seem like having the kind of more like traditional post-up big, playing with these like massive LeBron-led transition attacks is a little bit of a mismatch.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know if Steve Kerr has the nuts to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I kind of like the way Embiid fits with Booker a bit more because I kind of like that. You know, if you run my jumbo lineup, or maybe you switch Tatum or Durant, we'll say, for a Booker or an Ant, I still like it there because I think Embiid, he's just not really a pick and roll big. And when you're playing with LeBron and Curry, it's going to be a pick and roll team. And so I really like AD there. Now, what we've been doing in these games is we've been playing Davis with Bam Adebayo to create the ultimate switchable rim protection lineup, which has just been so suffocating.
Filthy. Yeah.
And I love that lineup and I love Bam, but I think it's going to be sometimes hard for Bam to get minutes if we can't get offense going because we're kind of turning the ball over a lot.
See, and I think that's like even more of an argument for Booker in that like if you put Booker into that starting spot with just keeping Embiid in the starting lineup, then you get your next three off the bench are Bam Adebayo, AD, and Anthony Edwards, and like whoever you want of Drew or Derek White or Jason Tatum. And it's just like the second team on the opposing team is just not going to score at all.
Yeah, I also wonder if Team USA might not have a starting lineup. They might just go country by country because it could be one of those things where it's like we're playing Serbia okay, I would rather start Joel Embiid against Serbia. Against Puerto Rico and South Sudan, I think I'd rather start AD, where it's like, let's just run. But when it's Serbia, I'm like, okay, let's get the one guy who actually kind of gives Jokic problems, because we know Davis and Bam don't typically do that. And against Canada, I think it might be one of those things where it's like, okay, we're going to start Holiday this game because SGA is a fucking nightmare to deal with. So I think that's maybe what's going to happen with
Or
Team
even
USA.
Tatum in a scenario where we're playing Canada.
Yeah. I don't know. After this whole weird Tatum finals run that he's had, like he just looks so much more natural slotting in as like a second option on these teams.
Yeah.
He's just like an absolute nightmare when there's like action at the top and then he gets the ball down low by himself. Like it's weird because he plays on this stacked NBA team, but because he's kind of expected to be the main shot guy, it's like he's not getting the same level of shots. But like, especially against this international competition and the warm-up games, like Tatum is just bodying these foreign players and getting to the rim and like scoring with ease.
Yeah, that guy Jason Tatum's pretty good. We should talk about so there are 3 Boston Celtics on this roster in Derek White, Jason Tatum, and Drew Holiday. And Derek White was the replacement for Kawhi Leonard. We didn't talk about this at all last week. What do you think of everything that's been made of
the Jaylen
Brown and whatnot?
So me and Max were talking about this before you got here, and I'm like, not 100% sold on the Nike theory, but Max.
Why?
Just because I'm not a conspiratorial guy alone,
Okay.
but I was kind of more into it. But Max brought up a good point that was like, I feel like we almost have too many stars, and we kind of need some more role players, because I think this Team USA doesn't really have a lot of guys that they can bench, and it could be like, okay, because normally we'll roster the one college guy. Like in 2012, like Anthony Davis was the college guy who just didn't play.
Yeah.
And I feel like we kind of needed another guy that we could be like, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
Because if you add Jaylen Brown to this mix, obviously Jaylen Brown is incredible. But it is kind of one of those things where, well, you can't not give Jaylen Brown a lot of minutes, especially coming off the ECF and Finals MVP. I don't know.
I see. I push back on that because like the plan was to have Kawhi freaking Leonard on this team. So like,
Or was it all for show? Because why did you back out so
Mister,
quickly?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Touche.
But and I'm just like, so you go from Kawhi Leonard, this like big defensive stopper, wing, like predatory scorer, and that's what you thought you needed on this roster, and you decide to replace it with Derek White. And what James is talking about, the conspiracy theory, is that like, so Team USA is a Nike like affiliated program. And not all of these guys, but most of these guys, except for the Steph Currys, the Joel Embiids, who else? There's somebody, the Anthony Edwards, guys that you literally cannot make this roster without if you're Team USA, are all Nike guys. And when Kawhi Leonard, who was another non-Nike guy that you could not make this team without, was replaced, I think Jaylen Brown really was like the obvious like next man up from like a just really talented American standpoint. But Jaylen Brown is not a Nike guy. And then Jaylen Brown comes out and tweets like, I'm not afraid of your resources, completely out of context.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's right that Nike has a hand in picking the team, but I think it is worth noting, it's not that Jaylen Brown isn't a Nike guy, it's that Jaylen Brown is a staunch anti-Nike guy, where he's been having a lot of like anti-Nike stances over the years, whereas obviously Ant's not spewing like Nike makes their footwear in illegal factories in Malaysia.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
Which I'm not saying Jaylen Brown is wrong about that.
Yeah.
But it is worth noting that he has taken a more adverse stance to Nike over the years, which again doesn't make it right or make what he's saying wrong. But yeah, I think it is probably the main reason, but I do think there is an actual part of it where it can both be true that is true, but also where the coaches are like, we don't really need another on-ball guy. We kind of do need another glue guy.
Yeah, no, I feel you, and I think you're right about that. We didn't need a Kawhi Leonard on this
like
team.
honestly, I'm like I don't even know where Kawhi Leonard really fits in on this team anymore.
Yeah,
like I haven't watched them play. It's
were you
like,
benching Tatum? Like, what's going on? He was, I guess, just getting
I don't
benched.
really want to bench Tatum on this team. I don't know.
But anyways, like
What I like about this team though, the running gun lineup with the Curry, LeBron, Davis threesome with whoever you want to put with those three, and then you have the more half-court methodical team with like a Booker, Embiid. One thing I really love from Ant is his relocation on some of these three-point attempts. Ant's doing a really good job moving without the ball. He's doing a really good job adjusting to playing as not superstar basketball. Also, Ant's handle looks really tight compared to like 2 months ago. I don't know if he's just been in the lab ferociously for like 2 months right now.
yeah, I don't know. It's also, I feel like
The Ant ascension is like
when you're not the focal point, it's like easier to just like look amazing.
that's true, but he's making himself the focal point when he gets in there. I feel like
Yeah.
he's trying to prove a point.
No, for sure. I mean, he's going all over the like socials of Team USA, just talking
Roasting his
about
teammates.
how he's the best
Swimmer. Yeah.
I thought that was, I did not really understand the mental math that he was saying, like the only guy that could compete with him on swimming is Book. And he was like, I don't even know if Book swims.
Yeah.
But this team is the overwhelming favorite and should be.
It definitely should be. I think because I've been listening to some other podcasts and there's been like Brian Windhorst was like, oh, well, the world's caught up. I actually think this Olympics is maybe our most favorable in a while. I don't feel like there's another country that is really a powerhouse solely because Canada, who I would have as the second best team, they just don't have bigs.
Yeah, they're a bad matchup.
They're just an awful matchup. We're a horrible matchup for them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And teams like Serbia, like Jokic benefits from space a lot. And just taking the space a little bit, I think Jokic is still going to be the best player in the whole tournament, but it's still one of those small things that, like, as much as we get nerfed by some of these changes, it also does hurt the other really good NBA players in the tournament.
But I think what like Windy is talking about there is like there are maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that I could see like in a single game win 3 out of 10 games against Team USA. And I think that is a considerably higher number of teams that have the upside to do that against Team USA than in the past.
I just don't know because I just don't know if there is a team relative to us that I personally think is as good as some of those old Spain teams were. Because I think we're seeing teams like Serbia where it's like you've got Jokic, you've got Bogdanovic. And then like you've got, you know, France has a lot of NBA guys. You've got Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, he's amazing. You've got Rudy Gobert. He's an incredible defensive presence. And Gobert and Wemby are only better defenders with a rule where you can stand under the rim. But at the same time, like, they're still pretty flawed as an overall team.
But you're, I think, underselling what has been the undoing of Team USA here and there throughout, like its existence in the NBA Team USA era of cohesion. And that's what all of these teams have.
Yeah.
That is better than us. And now all these teams have a lot of NBA players, like Australia, 7 current NBA players, 2 former. Greece, 1 current NBA, 4 former. Canada, 10, 1 former. France, 5 current, 3 former.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I agree with that. But I really do feel like this Team USA is in a better position to just outright dominate than maybe our last 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Because I do think even though there is much more international teams, there's just not that one team where I kind of see the pathway. You know, like when we lost the World Cup last year, it was like we could not handle Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, I mean, that was a much different team than this team.
Yeah, exactly. But this team is like, we can play half court, we can play full court, we can play big, we can play small. Like this team has an answer for every type of lineup, whereas like our World Cup team that got 4th last summer just didn't have the flexibility. I don't know. I just think
But
I don't know.
if
I just
we're
like
playing 7-game series, I'm with you.
Oh yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is I feel like there's been some angst about Team USA this year. And even with everything, I honestly feel like there should be less this year than maybe in years past.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely a better team than our Tokyo team.
Yeah.
Like not even close.
When was the last time that U.S. lost?
The World Cup last year.
Or I mean, like in the Summer
Olympics?
Olympics.
2004,
Yeah.
we got the bronze medal. 1988, we got the bronze medal. That's what inspired us to
Dream team.
Dream Team. And then 72, we got the silver medal. Those are the only years that Team USA did not win the gold.
So who won in 2004?
Argentina.
Oh,
Manu Ginobili.
that explains it.
And Luis
Scola.
Yeah.
Great team.
Squad.
Okay. So Group B, Group C, whatever group we want to call it. It could be Group A if you want. Doesn't really matter what letter it is.
It's Group C for the record.
Oh, it's Group C for the record. I'm not good at record keeping. Group D.
Yeah, you want quickly, just like quick hitters on each of these teams?
Yeah, I mean, Puerto Rico, not to be honest, no, I don't really want to give a lot of time to Puerto Rico and South Sudan. I don't think either Puerto Rico or South Sudan are really going to have a chance to be one of the third teams.
So Puerto Rico, it's like a jitterbug guard team. It's built around Jose Alvarado and Tremont Waters, who are their two like current NBA player, one former NBA player. They like it's an upstart.
It's going to be really hard for Puerto Rico and South Sudan to get a lot going just because the bigs.
Yeah. I mean, South Sudan, I just want to like put it into perspective what South Sudan is. South Sudan declared their independence as a country in 2011. They became a member of FIBA in 2013, and they're having their first Olympic bid in their new country's history this year. Like, they're the only team in this tournament with no NBA players, current or former. It's just going to be a really tough road for them to have any sort of success.
Yeah, and shout out South Sudan.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing story. It's like a Disney movie,
Yeah.
honestly.
But the way this group is structured is there's two really strong teams and two really weak teams. So I'm definitely expecting either Serbia or USA goes undefeated and then the other team's one loss is to the other one, and then they both just demolish point differential wise these other two teams.
Yeah. That's pretty much all to say. We kind of talked about Serbia already.
And real quick, game one for Team USA and Serbia is against each other on July 27th.
Let's go.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game.
Okay, do we want to get to what I've labeled as Group C or what you've labeled as Group A?
I feel like now is the time that we should talk about the group of death. And maybe that's what we call it.
Yeah, this is the strongest group by a mile.
Yeah, Group A. This honestly might be the strongest group in Olympic basketball history.
Yeah, I think so. So this group is Australia, as Patrick mentioned, a lot of former NBA guys and current NBA guys. Greece, again, not as many, but they have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who in the past, Giannis on Team Greece has looked kind of weird. The coach seems like he didn't know how to use him, but this year it seems like there's a lot more cohesion. Thanasis, which actually would have been an asset for Greece, tore his Achilles or his ACL earlier this offseason on vacation.
Yeah.
So that's a big blow to Greece. Canada. Now, Canada is I'll do Spain first. So Spain is not the same Spain.
No.
There's no Gasols, but
this is not the Gasols, Ricky Rubio,
Yeah.
Rudy Fernandez Spain that we grew up with.
yeah, there's Willie Hernan Gomez, Santiago Aldama, Juancho Hernan Gomez, Usman Gubara. So Garuba. Sorry. So Spain is big. Their size is going to help them a lot in these games. It's going to be tough because they don't really have the same level of guard and wing play that they've had in the past. Canada is the crazy team. So we've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Dylan Brooks, Andrew Nembhard, Dwight Powell, Kelly Olynyk, Ken Birch, Lou Dort, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, RJ Barrett, Trey Lyles. I mean, NBA talent up and down the roster. The giant weak point, obviously, right off the bat, is their bigs. And I think what kind of hurts them is you could at least be like, okay, they could space with a Kelly Olynyk lineup, but that's just opening up Team USA to get rebounds and run if he's not going to compete there.
Yeah, spacing in Olympic basketball, it's not
quite as
from
important.
the five. It's not as as much of a game changer.
Especially when fives can camp in the paint, you really want vertical rim defenders, which is great about all three of Team USA's bigs. And we saw in the friendly, obviously Canada kind of didn't play Shai the whole game, but man, Shai and Jamal had a really hard time getting things going against Team USA's like kind of more ace defenders, and then we just dominated them on the boards. And like Canada, I feel like is the best team in this group. I feel like they should beat Greece solely because of perimeter talent, but man, Giannis could go for a ton of points in that game.
Yeah, I mean, weirdly, the team that I think I feel best about in this group is Australia.
So Australia's got Dyson Daniels, Matthew Dellavedova, Dante Exum, Josh Giddey, Josh Green, Joe Ingles, Jacques Landale, Patty Mills. They've got a really nice
Duop
blend.
Reith as well.
They've got a really nice blend of NBA talent. They don't have that superstar that a lot of these teams have, but unironically, like Josh Giddey is an on-ball creator with size. Like he could really shine on a team like this.
He played really, really well against Team USA in their friendly there. And, you know, Australia is a team that on the Olympic stage has been growing in the last couple of Olympics. They just won their first medal with the bronze in Tokyo. And I think they're like really primed to just get to the knockout round once again here.
Yeah, so this is a group I think will send 3 teams.
Yeah.
So who do you have? I think it's going to be Australia and Canada. And I don't know, man. I really don't know what Greece versus Spain is going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Greece, they've struggled because of their spacing.
It's weird too, like Giannis. Obviously, everyone knows Giannis. He's incredible. They've got Georgios Papagiannis, which
lottery pick. There we go.
Yeah, he played with the Kings
Sacramento
for 2 years,
Kings.
and the Trailblazers for 1. They have Nick Calathis. He played for Memphis for 2 years, like a decade ago, and was bad.
Yeah.
But
I will shout out to any Greek listeners. Nick Calathis is like a Greek legend in basketball. He's definitely in his older years, but
he better tread carefully because Canada might strip his legend status. But
yeah, they may.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I want to pick Greece because of Giannis, but I do kind of feel like in a game of Greece versus Spain, just the amount of bigs that Spain has can kind of maybe slow Greece down a little bit if their spacing and everything is kind of wonky because there's just not enough talent around Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a group that it could even come down to point differential.
Yeah.
And like, what teams in the games that they lose are not going to get blown out? Because, I mean, Spain is not going to go undefeated here. Like, Spain is the number 1 ranked team in FIBA. Of course, that's a little bit of noisy.
I mean, just straight up, I think Canada is better than them.
But they've been on these stages before. They've played as this team. Canada has kind of the same thing that Team US has bit Team USA in the butt over the past couple of decades, in that like this Canadian team has not played together. Some of them have, but like this is the first time Jamal Murray is there with them, so that definitely changes things. But
so it sounds like you like Australia the best in this group.
I like Australia the best in this group. And then if you like were really pressing me, I'd say Canada is the other shoe in. But I also like Spain. I think Greece is the team that I
you think is the odd team out?
Is the odd team out, just because like it's like we're gonna need a superhuman Giannis thing going on here in these first 4 games for them to put themselves in a position to succeed. But yeah, and I think this could be a really huge moment for Canada basketball. Canada basketball has never, like, the best they've ever done is 4th in this tournament, and that was in 1984. So like this is the payoff, Steve Nash. This is what you set in motion.
Yeah, and I mean it's worth knowing Shea might be the best guard in the entire tournament, and I think his game is really tailor-made to succeed in FIBA.
Yeah, yes.
And one thing also I like is that because the 3-point line is a little bit closer, you saw it a couple times in our game against them in the beginning, is Shea shooting off the dribble threes that he doesn't normally take in the NBA environment.
Yeah, that is nice. And like, let's not forget, Canada has like really probably the best defensive starting backcourt, like clearly in here with Shea and Dylan Brooks. So yeah, I mean, as long as you're not getting out rebounded like terribly.
I
Canada
think
should be okay.
I think in any game Canada can control the rebounds, they should be really. I would pick them over any other team other than Team USA. I think me personally, but it'll be fun to see them in Australia and Greece and Spain. Like duke this out. This is the group of death. So your official prediction. Obviously, we both think Australia and Canada are the two top teams.
Yeah,
and then you're picking Spain.
Yeah, I think
to probably be one of the three teams to come out.
One of the three teams, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Greece.
You know what? We haven't gotten a good superhero movie in a while, so I'm gonna bet on Giannis giving us one, and Giannis just going nuclear. In the Spain game. That's my prediction.
I had this question written down, and I know we still have one more group to go to, but I feel like it's a good place to ask. What players do you think have the most to lose / gain legacy-wise from like a medal or like specifically a gold medal?
Well, all of Team USA is the most to lose.
But like,
yes,
as a whole,
if
yes.
we lose, I think it's a black mark on every single player on the team.
If you got single players, I'm looking for single players.
Okay.
I feel like the only
I've got LeBron James, Stephen Curry,
But if they lose, I feel like the only player that will take a real legacy hit is LeBron. Personally.
Oh, I think if they lose, Joel Embiid is cooked.
Okay, that's interesting.
Especially if they lose to Serbia.
Yeah. If it's like a knockout round game, and
all right, we're talking about players who have a lot to gain. I think. I think clearly, like, if Serbia comes out and they win this first game against Team USA, like, I mean, Jokic is just like, it just kind of just reaffirms like where he is in the basketball landscape, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of one of those tough things because for any of these non-Team USA teams, if they win the gold, that's just insane. And I think,
I mean, it's insane. But would you put Jokic above all of them if like the scenario where their team wins the gold would have the most?
Well, I already have Jokic as the best player in the world, but it would be like I would have to find an ink that's just so permanent that like if you write it on a piece of paper, the paper can't even be torn anymore.
Yeah. I have Jokic as number 2. All right, kind of tied for number 2 on most to gain with a gold medal. My number 1, Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, if he gets it early.
If Victor Wembanyama can lead France, and this can kind of segue us into Group B, but I think if Victor Wembanyama can lead France to a gold medal in Paris, like the hype will be like something we have never seen before.
I didn't even consider Victor because France is pretty good. I don't think France is gonna have a real chance. In my opinion.
Let's get into that. that. Group B has France, the host country, Germany, Japan, and Brazil.
Yeah, so Germany won the World Cup last year. Let's start with Brazil and Japan though.
Okay,
Brazil's got Bruno Caboclo. They've got Raul Neto.
Yes, they've got four former NBA players: Marcelo Huertas, Bruno Caboclo, Raul Neto, and Cristiano Felicio, all like kind of journeyman role players that stuck around for a few years. And then their one current NBA player is Guy Santos, who's playing on the Warriors.
I think Brazil is like the like fish feed for the piranhas in this group.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, between them and Japan, honestly, I kind of like them a little bit more than Japan.
Yeah. That's the thing in this tournament is I feel like it's like you'll definitely think a third team will come out of that Group A, but this Group B, like, who is the third? Is the third team coming out of this group?
And that all comes down to point differential. If Team USA and Serbia are kind of have trouble with Puerto Rico or like kind of playing with their food, that opens the door for a team like Puerto Rico.
That's true.
Who I think is better like in a like vacuum than either Brazil or Japan.
Yeah, but this group is similar to Team USA's group where it feels like there's two really strong teams and there's two really weak teams. The two really weak teams, Brazil and the other one you mentioned, Japan. So Japan has Rui Hachimura and Yuta Watanabe. I always struggle to say his name.
They also have Kasai Tominaga, who anyone that was following the NCAA tournament, he was on Nebraska. He's like, what was the name? Like Japanese Steph Curry or something.
So
very exciting.
Yuta the
player.
shooter and him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is just, it's one of those tough things where like it's nice to have a guy like Rui in a tournament like this where, Rui goes from being the, I don't know, 112th best player in the NBA to the 36th best player in the tournament, or maybe even higher than that with his size and his athleticism. So against a team like Brazil, that's pretty helpful. But again, Brazil has some of these former NBA guys. Cristiano Felicio is a big center. I think he's 6'10". But I like that Japan has shooting. And should we get to the strong teams in this group? Yeah. Okay, so France. Or you want to go start with Germany or France?
Start with France, host country.
Ready? Victor Wembanyama, Gershon Yabusele, Rudy Gobert, Bilal Coulibaly, Evan Fournier, Frank Ntilikina, Theo Maledon, Nicholas Batum, and others.
Frankie Smokes.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think France is like an Olympics or two away from being the ultra powerhouse that they're gonna be. Because obviously, it's kind of confusing to see Zachary Richechet go number 1 in the draft and then just not be on the roster.
Yeah, same with Alex Sarr.
Or Nolan Troyer. There's a guy in next year's draft who will go top 5 from France who plays the wing guard named Nolan Troy. I don't know how to say French names, but also not on this roster.
So I watched France play against Serbia in an exhibition.
And I did too.
And I was very concerned with their scoring. It's just not easy. Like every bucket is kind of a labor.
I mean, they're playing this lineup where you've got Victor and Gobert together, where it's like this is suffocating defense until you play Jokic. Oh, by the way, Jokic seemed really pissed about that late season, regular season game.
Oh yeah,
he kind of tormented Victor in that game.
He
kind of absolutely tormented him.
I mean, the team, it kind of reminds me of like, what if you put Rudy Gobert on the San Antonio Spurs? It's just like the guard play. Like, I wish they had Evan Fournier from like 5 years ago. He would be a complete game changer.
No, I mean, you wish France had what they're going to be 4 years from now, where it's like, oh, Zachary Richechet is 23 years old and he's been in the NBA for 4 years and he's bulked up. And you have
maybe Pacome Dadier is there. And you've developed into a great guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think France is, unfortunately for France, they have a nice collection of names, but they don't have that creating guard. And the guards who maybe could create a little bit, like Frank Ntilikina, can't shoot.
Yeah, and they just don't fit together. It reminds me of like what I was thinking watching in like the Euros a couple of years ago, Lithuania. It's like you guys have Domantas Sabonis and Jonas Valanciunas, 2 of maybe the best 10 players in this tournament, but like they just don't fit together at all.
Yeah, because they like to do the same thing. I mean, I will say I've liked some of the Victor to Gobert passing I've seen in some of France's like exhibition games, but I think that's the problem is when you put Gobert next to Victor, it turns Victor into more of a playmaker and less of a finisher. And obviously we like Victor as a finisher better. But I mean, France is good. They have an overwhelming amount of talent. So I know we're talking about their flaws, but in a group with Brazil and Japan, they're going to wash them. And they honestly have a good shot to beat Germany too.
Oh, yeah.
If not favored to beat Germany.
Yeah, and this is a French team that, like, especially the older statesmen in Evan Fournier, Nando De Colo, Rudy Gobert, like, these, even Frank Ntilikina, and of course Nicholas Batum, they've been playing together for a really, really long time. This is a team that got silver last Olympics. I guess none of them were around for the silver in 2000, but it's an experienced crew. And they've got home court advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they're the next basketball powerhouse outside of America. But they're not in my eyes, they're not the current.
4 years from now, who you got, Canada or France?
France.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I just think France is 1 Olympics or 2 Olympics away. That's just how I feel about it. Yeah,
it makes sense.
And then
we didn't even talk about Tijan Salant, who is a lottery pick as well.
Yeah, they've got all these guys who are going to be there. I mean, Coulibaly also right now, that's the thing. You've got guys like, if this was an NBA team, we would be like, what are they doing playing Victor Gobert and Coulibaly together? We'd be, and Ntilikina all on the same floor. We'd be like, what is this?
There's no
disaster class of a team. But it's one of those weird things with the Olympics where it's like, all right, let's just get our 12 best guys. And then you're like, oh my God, these guys don't fit at all.
It's pretty awesome. It's just like, we can't talk about it through a lens of transactions or anything. It's just like, these are the guys you got, make it work.
Yeah. And then Germany is kind of weird. They just won the World Cup. but they don't have this crazy overwhelming thing of talent. They've got Moritz Wagner, they've got Franz Wagner, they've got Dennis Schroeder, the defending tournament MVP.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis Schroeder, Olympic Dennis Schroeder is a different animal.
World Cup Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
We got to see him in the Olympics. Got to prove his Olympic medal. But and Daniel Theis.
Yeah, I mean, Mo Wagner was a guy that Team USA really struggled against in the World Cup, and I don't think he's even in line to start on this team with Daniel Theis there. This is just like a big, physical, strong, athletic team.
You know what I like about this team? I feel like this team, more than any other team in the tournament, like embodies the country they're from. Like Germany, big, strong,
workman. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. But also, this is a team on the Olympic stage that has really never succeeded. The best they've ever done in the Olympics is 7th in 1992. So I think this is going, like, especially coming off of this World Cup victory, it's going to be a very, like, it's really going to be important to this team to succeed.
I think it definitely seems like me and you were both pretty low on Germany, despite them coming off being the champion. But there's just a big difference between playing against a Team USA whose point of attack defender is Drew Holiday and the rim defender is Joel Embiid versus the Team USA where the point of attack defender is Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
And the rim defender is Jaren, who just could not stop fouling. And obviously with the different foul rules was just an absolute mess for us
Sounds
last
like Joel
summer.
Embiid.
Yeah, just a little shorter. We've got taller Jaren this time.
I don't think it's fair to say that I'm not high on Germany. I think they're my favorite team probably in this group. And I think really they match up against Team USA probably better than any other team in this tournament, just with the size and athleticism that they have to offer. And these guys on their team, they're not going to be afraid of Team USA. Like Dennis Schroeder, he's not going to be afraid of any of the guys on Team USA. He's been playing against them for 12 years in the NBA.
Well, I mean, I just saw France play pretty scared against the Cavs for 7 games, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He was okay.
He was pretty bad. He was pretty bad at that first round series. He could not shoot the ball at all. I like France as much of a mess of a combination of guys there. I just feel like they're going to figure out maybe stagger Gobert and Wemby a bit more. I think Germany's strength is their kind of size and physicality, and I think if there's one thing France is set up to neutralize, it's that.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
I like France. You like Germany. We both like the two of them to be the 2 teams that advance. So I guess we've both picked either Spain or Greece, respectively, for one of the third teams. Who do we think the other third team will be?
Let's see. Let me look at this. So basically our options are Japan, Brazil, Puerto Rico, and South Sudan.
Yeah.
Right now, where are you feeling?
I'm going to go Japan.
Okay. I will go Puerto Rico because I think Puerto Rico has the upside to win big against South Sudan, and they should be they should try really hard to pour it on there. And then I think that they'll probably have at least one close game against Serbia or Team USA. And that I think might be enough to put them over the. It's impossible to say. You know, there are gonna be upsets in this group round, and we just don't know who yet.
Yeah.
If it's in Group A, then it's not a huge deal. But if there are upsets in Group B and Group C, that's when it starts getting shaken up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I will say, I remember when I watched the first Team USA Canada exhibition game and USA is just turning the ball over left and right, there was a part of me that's like, man, have I been watching too much basketball? Like, am I really watching this right now?
It was a little scary.
It's like mess in the first half.
Yeah, they were terrible in the first quarter. It's like, do I want to put myself through this?
Yeah. Should I be concerned that Steph Curry's shooting like Bronny James in these exhibition games?
No, I think he'll be able to bounce back.
You think you'll be able to bounce back?
It's too close to the 3-point line for Steph. Yeah, Summer League's going on right now. Have you watched any Summer League?
I've watched some Lakers. Okay. I've watched some Heat. I've watched my 2 teams.
How are you feeling about those squads?
Khalil Ware looks pretty cool.
Yes. I knew you would like Kel'el Ware.
He's looking pretty good.
Great fit next to Bam.
Yeah, I gotta say on the Lakers front, I think Dalton Connect is kind of a defensive disaster. He is getting destroyed.
He's pretty skinny.
On the perimeter.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't even been his skinniness that I've noticed. It's just like, it feels like in every clip of like guys doing something against the Lakers, you see Dalton Connect behind the ball handler being like, oh my God, what do I do? And obviously Bronny has been an absolute mess on offense.
Could this have went worse? The Bronny James Summer League experience.
I don't think it could have.
No, I think this is like
think,
absolutely bottom barrel as bad as it could have.
I think there's obviously the big concern is how broken his jump shot is. And we were kind of talking about it before the show, but like he's not taking a lot of bad shots, which to me, obviously I don't think he's an elite shooter. He wasn't that in college, but clearly the guy can make a jump shot. So to go 0 of 15, I think is a big mental thing. Not that I think he's going to shoot 8 of 15.
Not allowed to shoot.
But can you at least go 3 of 15 is all I'm saying. But I think the more concerning thing, and I've seen this on YouTube and Twitter, and I didn't notice it at first, is Bronny actually, for all the high effort plays, like the incredible blocks, and I think he had a 3-block game, there are a lot of plays where it's like, why aren't you running back in transition? Why are you running at 70% speed? Why are you not running at 100% speed? Why are you not going full tilt? And I think there is a real issue of him having the guaranteed roster spot because there actually is a lot of plays where he isn't giving enough effort. And it's like, if you're not making your shots, you're not doing all that, at least run hard.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the time, like, he's kind of out of position as well a lot. Like, I can think of that one block that he had in transition. It was like, you got there because of your wingspan and your hustle, but like, if you're like in a 2 versus 1 transition opportunity for the other team, and it's like true NBA caliber talent running that break, like you're not gonna get that block.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a pretty scary. But yeah, I've watched a little bit. I honestly have watched probably less Summer League.
I think that's good for your mental health.
Yeah, it probably is. Less Summer League than I have in like 5 years. But Reed Shepherd.
Yeah, he's been awesome. It's weird to wonder. The only thing with the Reed Shepherd experience is because he's taking like off the screen dribble pull up threes and he's attacking in the lane and attacking floaters. I'm just like, when I picture what he's going to look like on the actual Rockets, I'm like, I don't think you're going to take any of these shots.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
I'm fine with it. Like, I've never seen him not make his shots thus far.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you are doing that and you can just keep making it. I just like am so obsessed with the Amen Thompson, Reed Shepherd. Like they just fit each other so well as like backcourt mates and to like fill in each other's like deficiencies. Watched a little bit of Summer Suns. Ryan Dunn.
The new Summer Suns?
The new Summer Suns?
Oh, yeah, no, the G League team is new.
The G League are the Valley
Welcome to
Suns.
the G League party,
hey,
Suns. It only took you guys 20 years.
We're happy to be back. Do you know the story about that? We had.
Oh, you had a G League
We
team.
had a G League team. And then Robert Sarver sold the G League team to the Pistons because he decided he didn't want it anymore in 2020.
Wow. You know what I thought was so funny? So, yeah, the Suns have a new G League team, and their post on Instagram is like, hey, Suns fans, we have a G League team. And then it's like, what is a G League team? I'm like, bro, every Suns fan knows what a fucking G League team is.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Just baby steps. Baby steps. Funny story about the Northern Arizona Suns was our old G League team. My girlfriend found a Northern Arizona Suns jersey at a Goodwill in Los Angeles. And she takes a picture of it and sends it to me. And she's like, what is this? Like, is this like a counterfeit Suns jersey? That's just weird. And I'm like, oh my God, you have to, but this was like 6 months ago. I'm like, you have to buy that jersey because we will never, ever, ever find an NAZ Suns. It was Marcus Thornton or something.
Okay, an actual guy.
Yeah.
An actual guy, yeah.
It was something like that Hollis Thompson. That's who it was.
An actual NBA guy.
An actual NBA guy. I was like, so now I have a Hollis Thompson NAZ Suns jersey. But back to the Summer Suns. Ryan Dunn, defense as advertised. Like, absolutely insane. His first game, he had, I think, 3 steals and 2 blocks. And very fun to watch on defense. Offense also as advertised, just absolutely cannot do anything on that side of the ball. But I'll take it.
Yeah, and can we talk about jerseys again?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Nike. Bro, what? I don't understand. Why can you buy a Bam Adebayo Team USA jersey, but you can't buy a LeBron James one or a Stephen Curry one? Or like, why can we not? Like, it's like you can buy the jerseys of like the. I mean, I love Bam Adebayo. I love Anthony Davis, but be real. Obviously, LeBron is the most popular player on the team. Curry is the second most popular. Like, why can't I buy like a Anthony Edwards Team USA jersey? Why is there only like 4 of the players available? And then also, Republic of Serbia. Why can I not buy a Nikola Jokic Serbia jersey? Greece. Why can I not buy a Giannis Greece jersey? Like look, I'm a Team USA guy, but I wouldn't be opposed to having a little Giannis Greece jersey in my collection.
I've got no answers. No, that's a sick jersey.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
so cool.
Are these countries just not interested in funding their teams?
I got no answers for you, my friend.
Wait, which are the 4 players that you can buy?
So you can buy Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. I want to say you can buy everyone who's 14 through 11.
Okay.
It's probably just like everybody bought the jerseys.
No, they're just not even there. They're not even sold out. And the like Anthony Davis one, because of the players that are there, like I'd probably get AD. I'm a big Anthony Davis guy. Like it's a pre-order, so I don't understand why you can't get LeBron or Curry or Edwards or.
My thing is like even
Booker
if
for
it
you,
is a supply thing for like the LeBron,
number 6
Steph Curry, it's like. Don't even make anyone else's jersey. Like, make a customized jersey option where they can just make whatever they want and, like, have way too many LeBron jerseys, have way too many Steph jerseys.
They're going to sell out.
Yeah.
I don't think you could make enough LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant Team USA jerseys and them not to sell out.
I mean, the tournament hasn't even started yet. Normal people aren't buying the jerseys yet.
Yeah, you see, here's what I don't understand. Maybe I'm like, maybe I'm just too dense, but like retroactively too for Mitchell and Ness, like you can buy like a Larry Bird Team USA jersey. They just don't sell Michael Jordan Team USA jerseys. I just like, do you not like money?
There's like
what?
There's got to be some like AI freaking development in Mitchell and Ness or just like throwback jersey sales because like I don't get why like they don't just have some machine that can make whatever jersey I want. Because if that was like I just want to buy like a Jason Richardson Suns jersey. Like, why is there no
way to do that? Yeah. Yeah. Is it even possible to get like a Chuck jersey nowadays? I feel like I've never seen a Charles jersey anywhere.
Yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of like counterfeit
stuff. That's the thing is like I could get a counterfeit Jokic Serbia jersey, but like I would love. I feel like it'd be so. Or Luka Croatia jersey. I'll go Croatia or not Croatia. Yeah. Slovenia. Sorry, that might have cut deep for Luka. They lost to Croatia pretty badly, but
hey. The land of Dario Saric. What can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I feel like we're living in the stone age
of jerseys.
Jersey sales,
which is crazy because we've got the city jersey. Maybe you think it's all to focus on city jerseys?
I guess maybe. I mean, talking about jerseys, like I feel like why don't we have like cooler jerseys for Summer League? You know, like there should be like some super loud, like crazy. You do the weird jerseys for the weird courts for the in-season tournament, why not make like a special edition Alex Sarr Summer League Wizards jersey that like if he becomes a 5-time All-NBA player, like people are gonna like that's gonna be a collector, amazing collector's item.
Yeah. I'm a little. Yeah, the jersey advancements has been disappointing from the NBA standpoint, and these other countries like Greece. I know I don't want to. Greece. I don't want to do a low blow, but I've heard there's been some funding issues in your country. Seems like a good way to raise some money is sell Giannis jerseys.
Sell Giannis jerseys. Hey, you can save money there if you're Greece. You got Giannis, you got Thanasis, you got Kostas. You got the same last name on every single one.
Great point.
Too many letters, maybe.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about how like AMC is like on the verge of bankruptcy? Like the theater chain?
The movie
really?
Theater. I'm not surprised.
And like part of their plan to get out of bankruptcy is the like elaborate popcorn buckets, like similar to that Dune popcorn bucket that like looked like a sandworm.
Uh-huh.
Like their plan is just to like charge
collectors
people 30
buckets.
Exactly.
People love collecting things.
I don't hate it. I will say I feel like the problem with movies, because I went and saw. Are we transitioning into Hot Streak Shooting Slump?
Yeah.
I think so.
Here.
All right, guys, we have transitioned into Hot Streak Shooting Slump. Now I'll go first.
Okay.
Piggyback off of the AMC.
Yeah.
I saw A Quiet Place, the new one.
Oh, how was it?
I liked it. I didn't love it. I felt like it was much more of like a human-driven, character-driven story, and I wanted more like world building for the monsters and everything, which it really gave nothing.
Was it all like real time?
Yes, I saw it as well.
Okay.
You liked it?
I liked it. I thought it was
Kinda
very
like
solid.
Cloverfield.
I think if it was the first movie in the series, I would have liked it a lot more. I think my issue with it was like, okay, this is movie 3. Like, can I learn anything about the creatures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does make you think that there's going to be like a day -1 or something. It's like,
Yeah.
like we still
Just
don't
keep
know.
going backwards one day.
We still don't know where these things came from, what they are, like any of the backstory.
Yeah.
They're just giving these like little crumbs.
This
of, like,
sounds like a job for HBO to me.
like
Yeah.
a miniseries.
Well,
yeah, I want a miniseries.
Matt, I'm curious what you thought, Max, because when I'm watching the previews for the upcoming, because I feel like the way with the movies is once you go to a movie, you see all the trailers, and then you're like, oh, that's the next movie I'm going to go see. And then you kind of get into the cycle of going to the movie theater. But what was there any movie you were like? I guess Joker 2 was the only movie I was like, okay, I'll go see that. But there was like not one other movie I even considered like, oh, that looks okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the trailers being great for that movie.
Like there was nothing that made you really want to go to the theater in the next 2 months, was there? Yeah, not for me either. Like I literally after going to because we have a really really nice theater out here called Sinopolis, which is even nicer than AMC. But that's the problem is I feel like because people go to the movies less often, you feel more obliged to go to a really nice theater. And so all of the old theaters that are like the more cheap casual theaters, like I don't really see where they fit in today's economy that much.
Yeah, well, also because they're just not that cheap anymore.
That's true. That's not their cheap anymore. I remember as a kid, I used to do $5. Was it $5 Thursdays? And I'd go like twice a month.
Even in high school, I would go to the movie theater all the time, and it was
Yeah,
$7 with your school ID. $7, get in the movie theater, like super easy. Kids, that's like I feel like who they should be trying to get back in theaters is like high school kids, but like. High school kids are just not going to be able to afford a $20 ticket.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I feel like the real problem more than the theaters is just the movies. Like there's just nothing that looks good. I feel like comedy movies are too afraid to be raunchy.
Comedy movies just like don't really exist.
They just don't exist anymore. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, especially in the theaters.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I feel like the
big budget
industry
comedies
is too scared to take a risk on something. Even like, I feel like there are movies coming out, especially on streamers, that are super raunchy and like okay to try to be funny. Like, I don't know if you guys watched like Ricky Stenicki. Like that's
Was it good? I keep seeing it. It's okay, yeah.
Like it was definitely like I didn't feel like they were scared of doing anything in that movie, but it was just like no people I think are like you were saying like are not going to like make their time out of their week to go see that in the theaters.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like an event.
No, yeah. The Quiet Place is one of those movies where I'm like, okay, that's like a great excuse for me to go to the theater.
Yeah.
And I guess Joker too, whenever that comes out, I'll go see it in
And these
theaters.
are all series, you know?
Yeah, they're all, I don't know.
I will say I did see Longlegs. Have you guys heard anything about that movie?
No, is it good?
It's a great
It's a
horror
scary
movie.
movie, right?
Yeah. I think you would really enjoy that. Nicolas Cage plays like a serial killer, and it's pretty top notch, honestly. Way better than Quiet Place, IMO.
Okay, I got to see it then.
Yeah,
I'm
check it
actually not a horror movie guy. I actually like
okay.
Quiet Place because it's like sci-fi, and that's
okay.
why for me I was like, I don't care about a character. I want to learn about the sci-fi shit.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, I'm one of those people that like I have to know every detail of a universe if I enjoy that universe.
For sure. Yeah.
But I'm on a hot streak. Obviously,
go.
I did enjoy that movie. I enjoyed going to the movie theater. I love the movie theater. It's a little bittersweet. This is the last episode in this room in this set, guys. I as longtime Foul Trouble listeners know, and around February, March, I decided I wanted to sell this house, and my official last day of home ownership is on Monday. So we have to figure out as a podcast what we're going to do next week. There's maybe a chance we don't film next week as we figure that all out, but we'll let you guys know. But no, I'm having a great week. I finally achieved that goal. I'm excited to get back out to the city, be closer to the boys.
Let's go.
We got to do a little celebration.
Yeah, I'm Down.
Maybe a little Team USA watch party at the end of the month. That'd be fun. But But yeah, no, great week. Been chilling. I haven't been as productive for work, but I've been working on the house stuff. But I'm going to get back to that. And it's been really fun. It's actually a really funny full circle moment because over the summer, last summer, Patrick and I, when we did our test pods, it was all World Cup basketball. And Patrick and I were so poorly versed / educated in the dynamics of World Cup basketball that our test pods, I want to say the first 3 test pods were kind of not a mess, but they were definitely really jumbled. And it wasn't until
we just had to do so much research. I mean, I feel like it definitely showed in today's episode how much we tried to learn about World Cup basketball.
Yeah, and then we did our first test pod that was like actual NBA, and it was like so natural, and it was like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah. No, we were just trying to do like stuff like new news that was happening because we knew that would be the majority of like vibes that we'd be talking about. But yeah, it is very full circle. I
feel like this episode in a weird way is like the official last episode of the first year, even though timeline wise that doesn't make sense.
No, I mean our timeline.
Yeah, our timeline. Yeah.
Max, how's your week going?
Pretty good. I mean, it's weird doing Hot Streak Shooting Slump on Wednesday now. It sort of feels like I don't know what day it is anymore.
Yeah, I think I saw A Quiet Place like 2 weeks ago.
But no, I mean, it's been a good week. I've been productive. I went to an Anaheim Angels game this past weekend because one of my friends had like a suite that he was like, come for free. Sweet.
Was the sweet?
It was fine.
It was an Angels game.
Yeah. I will say, like, one time I had a buddy get me into a Chargers suite.
Ooh.
Like, it was
at
like
SoFi?
At SoFi, like ground level. That shit was nice. It was like so many food options, like open bar. This Angel suite was not that. But shout out to my friend for getting me a free ticket. I am appreciative. It was fun. And it was like a really boring game until like the 7th inning. There was like a grand slam and they won the game off of that. And I don't know if you guys have been to an Angels game, but they like shoot off pyrotechnics whenever somebody hits a home run, which is kind of hype.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I feel like I have an unwritten rule to avoid Orange County as much as I humanly can.
I think that's smart. I think that's a smart decision.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm excited for one movie you could see coming out, Twisters. It's a sequel to Twister. Have you ever seen Twister?
No.
Okay.
What's Twister?
Have you ever seen Twister?
Yeah, I've seen Twister.
Okay.
It's like a very like early
It's 90s. Yeah. It's like a fun 90s movie about like tornado chasers. And it's really it's a good time. But
there's a ride at Universal.
Yeah. There's a sequel coming out this weekend that looks pretty good.
Glenn Powell.
Okay.
Looks pretty good. So, if you like a thrill, like a good tornado sequence, guys driving around in a car chasing after a tornado, kind of hype.
Natalie Dyer? What's her name?
Who?
She's in it, right?
I think so.
Stranger Things girl?
Oh, yeah.
I saw her at a bar once.
That's cool.
Very short. That's all I have to report.
I saw Tim Allen at a Jimmy John's last week. I just feel like I need to tell everybody about that.
No, that's a good shout.
That's all I got.
I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but I ran into Taco Fall in public 3 different times in different cities.
I think you mentioned you saw him on an airplane or something.
So one time I'm just driving through LA and he just crossed the street in front of my car. I'm like, on my phone waiting for, I'm like, because at first I was like, I don't remember what the initial, it was either like, wow, that guy is way taller than his girlfriend, or it was like, that girl is really tall. And it was one of those two thoughts, but then I looked up and I was like, oh my God, that's Taco Fall. It was on Melrose, so just crossing the street.
So funny.
And then like 6 months later, I saw him in Chicago at the Apple store.
Wow.
Buying an iphone.
That's wild. 2 different cities. That's
Two different
crazy.
cities.
Just
Taco
completely
Fall.
in the wild.
Completely in the wild. Unplanned. Yeah. That's my guy.
I am having I don't know. I'm struggling with the Wednesdays.
What did you do last Thursday?
What did I do last Thursday?
Last Thursday, what did you do?
Went to work.
Okay, what did you do Friday?
I also went to Friday was kind of a fun day at work. There was like no one in office.
Oh, I was there that day.
You were there. So we were just we pretty much just had the France-Serbia game on. We had Summer League on. And I was just sending emails and that was a nice day. And then I didn't have much of a weekend. My brother wrote a new play that is in the Fringe Festival and had like a extension, and they needed somebody to jump in a role. So I jumped into that. It was pretty easy.
Patrick, you're the most LA guy ever for not being an LA guy.
I'm such an LA guy. And then I had a shoot, commercial shoot with my sketch group for these jeans, this jean brand that we work with. Monbao, thank you.
Are you for Bax? I don't know if you've seen. Patrick was in Target once.
I did see that. It was for like a board game.
Again?
We will see. Not with this shoot, but that's always the goal, to run into a poster of myself in Target.
So are you making like comedic sketches about jeans?
Yes. Oh my God. And they, I don't know how much I can talk about this, but they write the
spoilers.
sketches.
They write the sketches for you.
They write the sketches.
Oh no.
Wow. They are very unique.
Oh no.
This one was just peek behind the window. So the jeans are they're flexible and you can move in them. So it was this girl in this police precinct, and she was like, I fell in love with a man wearing the nicest jeans ever. And so it was a lineup of dudes in a bunch of different jeans. And my jeans were these the biggest drawstring jeans of all time. I don't know where they found them, but I was obviously not the one that she fell in love with. And yeah, it was funny. Maybe I'll wear the jeans next episode because they are truly ridiculous.
So she didn't love you because your jeans were too big?
Yeah, no, you can, and we had to squat in them. They just
the thighs were too thunderous.
Completely eliminated. It
been there.
I could fit 4 of my thighs in each pant leg. They
Flex.
That sounds so uncomfortable.
So large.
I'm anti-baggy jeans. I'm just going to say it. I don't like the way they look. Yeah. Every time I look at men's fashion from the early 2000s, I think it's the low point of human society.
Hey, you would like some Monbao jeans. You can really
Sell
squat
out.
in them, too.
I swear, every time I see a photo of Jay-Z at a concert and he's wearing a NFL jersey that's a 6XL, I'm like, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Those pictures are ridiculous.
He got Beyonce,
it was basically, my week was a long week, no breaks, but of a bunch of stuff that I really like to do. So I'll say hot streak, but
Let's go.
I'm a little tired.
Triple streak?
Triple streak.
Triple streak.
All right. Well, that was our Olympic preview.
Only one way to go out with the triple streak.
Yeah, triple streak.
And Team USA is playing right now.
How are we doing?
Curry leads USA with 9 early points in showcase versus Serbia. That's what the
What's the
NBA
score?
app just told me. Let me see. I'm not sure. Keep signing off. Maybe I'll.
Well,
be
no,
able to
I'm
yell
waiting.
it.
This is going to determine if I'm on a streak or a slump. I might change to start next Wednesday.
Okay, one other thing that why does the ESPN app not support Team USA in these exhibitions? There's no box score on ESPN.com.
I'm actually I don't understand how the Olympics doesn't just have a good website where you can see every roster, you can just see the box scores.
No, yeah, you literally had to do the one place I found the rosters, Wikipedia. Each one of them had updated rosters.
Bro, I was using proballers.com.
Yeah,
which I wasn't aware, but shout out to the owner of proballers.com. You've made a website with an interface that is...
It's me. I created proballers.com.
Oh, you made proballers.com.
Dude,
we still don't know the score.
USA basketball. No, it's look, I'm on the NBA app.
You know what I do? I don't ever go to these websites because they're all trash. I just Google Team USA versus Serbia basketball and just hope that Google has one of those auto pop-ins that they've added a couple years ago.
Right.
Those are good. But I don't like that Google doesn't have plus minus data.
It's also trash that when you try to go watch highlights on YouTube, it's just really blurry, low res videos. No creators are really making good highlight packages of USA. I don't know, maybe they just can't pull the clips or something.
There's I'm pretty sure the Olympics has I don't know. This on ESPN says that it's supposed to be live.
What happens,
if
you just Google it?
I Googled it and it's not there.
I'm going to try.
12 versus... I guess I just Googled Team USA basketball.
I'm going to try to get the score for the listeners, even though this has already happened by the time you've seen it.
This is really important to get.
This is great. Well, this is going to decide how I feel going forward.
But you know what? We're just like you guys.
All right. Well, we lost to Serbia September 12th in 2019.
See, it's like how the
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
oh
Also, what's the purpose of the exhibition games? I know it's like an hour late to ask this, but does it actually matter at all?
I don't know.
It's just to warm up.
I mean, I guess it seems like it's
for
only
funsies.
beneficial for like Team USA and Canada because
Okay.
we've never played together before. But
Okay.
all the other teams,
So
They should be.
these guys are all getting on a flight to Abu Dhabi, just being like, yeah, we're just kind of doing this for fun.
Okay, I don't know what the current score is, but at one point Serbia was up 22-19.
see,
This is so hard to
impossible
follow.
to find.
Okay, let me get the most recent update. Are you ready?
Yes. Oh, I think it's 24-24 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, 24-24. Okay.
Ooh, who will win? Put in your bets now.
I'm scared of Jokic.
Yeah, me too.
He's good.
Man, Joel Embiid's gonna need a new PR.
He's going to need a new PR
Agency.
team. He's going to fire me.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys next week or 2 weeks. We'll let you know. Peace.